Bet horse racing on DRF Bets. We'll match your first deposit up to $250. Get free expert picks and past performances, plus weekly cash back, all from Daily Racing Form, the most trusted name in horse racing. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Race number 9 at Pimlico on Preakness Saturday kicks off a 50-cent pick 5, 12% low takeout. Let's take a look at the field for the Runhappy Skipat Stakes. $100,000 is the purse. The number 5, Chub Wagon, 8-5 on the morning line, Mike. This horse is not only perfect, she's immaculate. 5 starts, she's never been headed. Now she gets the class and pace test.
Yeah, I guess she does, Dan. This certainly, it feels like the toughest race she's been in so far. But man, is she quick. Nobody's been able to keep up with her yet, and she doesn't give anybody a chance on the stretch of her races. We'll see if they can make it closer this time.
Timeform US and I are going to disagree on this pace projector. They've got Don't Let Sweet Fool You on a short lead. I think Chub Wagon drawing inside of Don't Let Sweet Fool You has to go and try and make the front. I would expect Chub Wagon to be in front. Don't Let Sweet Fool You attempting to track from the outside.
That's how I looked at it too, but we'll see how it plays out. Chub Wagon, you know that horse is going. I don't see why they would try to change something with her now. We'll just see how fast they can make her going here.
If the pace is fast, it could set up for a solid horse. The number 1 club car might be a notch below the top horses in this race, but she's beaten a couple of them, as she did last time out at Keeneland on April the 11th at a pretty decent price. She beats Golden Mischief in this race. She got a very nice setup going 3/4 of a mile. She got a fast pace. She comes to the outside. She runs them down. This is probably her best race. Buyer speed figures in the upper 80s. She may need to improve a bit, but she could get a good setup.
Yeah, that's what she's hoping for. She's hoping somebody goes after the favorite here. They race early, and she can get the trip that she got here at Keeneland. A very easy winner at the end of the day. She'll come running at the end if they race in front of her, Dan.
I think an argument could be made for the number 2 Casual. We'll watch her last race, the Carousel at Oaklawn, where she finishes 3rd. Now, you'll notice that she likes to come from off the pace. And in her last 2 races, she just caught slow-paced races that didn't work to her benefit. She also faced some of the better filly and mare sprinters in the country not named Gamine. In this race, she's beaten by Edgeway and Frank's Rocket. In the prior race, she was beaten by Kamari.
Yeah, fair to say she's getting pretty big class relief in this race, Dan. Those are really good horses she's been running against. Her win 3 back was actually a pretty good performance. I know it was just an allowance race, but she's going to hope for something like that where she wasn't that far away. They hooked up a little bit in front of her, and she came and ran them down. This filly's actually pretty good. She just needs the right trip.
Could make the argument she's the best true closer in the race. The 3 is Paisley Singing. Paisley Singing's taken a pretty big step up in class here. 4th last time out in a race that was washed off of the turf. She really has to move forward at a big price.
Yeah, I didn't see her being competitive in here, but she'll be a huge price.
Never Enough Time won this race last year when it was contested in the fall. She won it in gate-to-wire fashion. I don't think that trip is available to her here, A. I think this field is tougher than the field she faced last fall, and she's going to have to do it all off a layoff.
I agree with all those things, Dan. It just feels like they've come back in a really tough spot for her. I mean, I guess she still has some upside. She's 5 for 12 in her career. Maybe she takes another step forward, but she has to.
All eyes on Chub Wagon, the 8-5 morning line favorite, 5 for 5, legit figs. 99 buyer in New York, 2 starts back. Then this race last time out, the Unique Bella Stakes against fellow Pennsylvania Brits. And as you see, it is going, gone. All aboard the Chub Wagon, 93 buyer, and she didn't break a sweat.
Yeah, she hasn't broken a sweat yet, Dan. Nobody's been able to get close to her yet. So we'll see if things are any different this time. So far, she's just been really impressive. When she came to New York 2 starts back, I'll admit, Dan, I was not a believer in her that day. I picked somebody else. I knew I was dead when she was 3-5. She went right to the front and never looked back in that field. This filly's pretty good.
Don't Let Sweet Fool You reeled off 5 consecutive victories last year. Let's watch the final win of the streak, the Willa on the Move Stakes, where she got a nice trip up front. She beat Hibiscus Punch, who would come back to beat her in the Barbara Fritchie. After this race, nothing's gone right for Don't Let Sweet Fool You, Mike. She ran in the Fritchie. On paper, that was a match race between Don't Let Sweet Fool You and odds-on favorite Hello Beautiful. And it was a match race for the first half mile, and they dueled themselves into the ground. after this race, and I was talking to Lacey Gaudette yesterday, she said Don't Let Sweet Fool You was one of the horses that tested positive for the equine herpes virus. That's an automatic 21 days on the farm. Then when she came back, you couldn't train at Laurel because the main track is undergoing renovation. So now it's at Delaware for Don't Let Sweet Fool You. And I don't know if that adds up to a win, but she's a pretty talented horse when she's right.
She is. If she's ready to fire with all those things going on, Dan, she is a major player in this race. None of that stuff that you just said sounds too good to me. Coming back off of a layoff and catching a horse, drawn right to your inside who has a ton of speed and is probably putting you on the chase, that's probably not a great situation for this horse, but she is a good horse.
6-1 does seem fair, though, considering what she's done on the track in the Mid-Atlantic region. Call on Mischief is the 7. We saw her finish third behind Club Car last time out. She was close to a fast pace. She is a solid horse that needs a buyer boost.
Yeah, I mean, she shows up and she runs every time. There's nothing wrong with her, Dan. I'm just not a huge fan, and I just didn't really see her. Maybe she'll fall into a trip and run better here. I just didn't see her improving enough to beat this field.
French Empire is seeking her 5th straight win. Let's watch her most recent start at Oaklawn. She was trained this day by Cipriano Contreras. You're going to see her split horses and get up to win. She's now in the Brad Cox barn. I talked to Brad. I said, how long have you had French Empire? He said, long enough to know I really, really like her. And she might have the right stalking style for this race.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, she does have the right style for this race, to be sure. So maybe it's all about her falling into a trip and winning. I got to be honest, Dan, I don't like this horse in this race. I'm not particularly taken with either of her last 2 races. The guy that had her prior to Brad Cox was winning a lot of races down there at Oaklawn at a high percentage. So I'm not going to expect Brad to improve this horse, and I think she has to improve to win.
Top pick time for the Runhappy Skipat Stakes. Let's see if Chubb Wagon's a star. She's going to have to work, I think, this time around. There'll be some pace. She's facing better horses. Just on the visuals, very, very impressive.
Yeah, I'm going to take her, Dan. I couldn't find the horse that I wanted to try to beat her with. I just think she's going to go right to the front here and be hard to beat once again.
Gave you all the negatives with Don't Let Sweet Fool You. That last workout, though, was very fast over a deep Delaware track, and I have a feeling she wouldn't be running here if she wasn't ready to go, and I like that she can sit second. If Chubb Wagon just finds this class a little bit too tough, maybe Don't Let Sweet Fool You pokes her head in front, turning into the stretch. But I got to get at least the 6-1 on the morning line. 5-2-1-6 for Mike, 6-5-8-2 for me. Nice edition of the Runhappy Skipat Stakes. And better yet, it kicks off a 50-cent pick 5 with a 12% takeout. Good luck.